Hey there guys, this is Robin Hood and Superman Guy, and today we are here with the second match that Sanbul and JohannesVb are fighting in the finals of the Napoleon Total War subscriber tournament. And what map are they on today, Super?
We're on Syrian Ridge.
Yep, and the battle, this whole tournament actually started out on this map. The first match was played on this map, and now it has a chance to end on this map as well. Johannes and Sanbul are fighting a best 2 out of 3 for the title of champion, and Johannes won the first match. If you guys haven't seen that, you might want to go and watch that battle before watching this one. But yeah, Johannes has won the first match, so now Sanbul needs to win this one to have a shot at fighting Johannes in the third match for becoming the winner of the tournament.
Fighting for his tournament life.
Yep. Anyways, on the right side of my screen, you have the Ottomans, and they are Sanbul in this map. And on the left, Johannes is playing as Austria, getting some shots on the Ottoman cavalry on the hill. But anyways, I will go through the Ottoman army real quickly. Up on the hill here, we have 2 mounted rifle cavalry, followed by a Safayi cavalry. And then farther down, there is a light infantry unit followed by 2 units of line infantry, one of which is a Janissary musketeer. And there those guys are. And then in his middle, he's got more lights moving up onto the hill, followed by 2 more units of line and 2 units of Salatar Guard. There's another unit of line a little bit farther back in reserve. Then we've got a Janissary, 2 more units of standard line, another Janissary musketeer, and 2 more light infantry units. And then standard general, I believe? Nope, Ibrahim Basha back here, currently nowhere near the battlefield. But
Leading
anyways,
from the rear.
Yes, very much so. Zuper, you want to go ahead and go through the Ottoman army?
Austrian?
Austrian, that is correct.
Alright, starting from the far right, the Austrian right, we have 3 units of line infantry, 2 of them specialized. We have the 47th Czech Regiment, the 1st Regiment Emperor's Own, and a unit of German Fusiliers. To their left, we've got 2 units of light infantry, both Grenzers. Behind them, another unit of German Fusiliers. Moving off to their right, 2 units of Uhlans, those are Lancer Cavalry. Behind them, another unit of Uhlans. 2 units of German Fusiliers, I mentioned one of those already. Have another 4th unit of Uhlans. And behind them, we have Josef Albinci, Specialty General. To his left, Archduke Ferdinand Cuirassiers. And in front of them, we have Winbush Jaegers. These are some very specialized skirmishers, I suppose. Snipers, if you wanted to go that far. In front of them, 2 units of Grenzers. And up in those trees, to their forward left, 2 more units of German Fusiliers. And back behind them, a final unit of German Fusiliers.
Yep, and as you guys can see, this battle is very spread out. The Ottomans here have taken the hill, so Johannes is fighting from down below, but he does have a skirmishing advantage, and especially having those Winbush Jaegers there. But currently, they are not firing. He has them faced away to make sure that they can't fire. But a lot of action going on the right flank of the Austrian army. We've got some Uhlans charging in, and it looks like they're going to get a good charge and probably rout. Yep, they are going to rout that Ottoman line infantry. The German Fusiliers and the 1st Regiment of Emperor's Own now pushing up, fighting more musketeer units, and there's another unit of line infantry coming in to replace that one unit that just fell. They are now getting charged by these Uhlans, but they are forming a square formation, so this charge will not be that effective.
Across the field on the Austrian left, we have some line infantry engaging. No skirmishers there, though we do have some actual skirmishing occurring.
Yep, there is a German Fusilier unit, and right now they seem to be getting outmatched, although it looks like we have a charge of a Bashi Bazouk unit here, and they are hitting these German Fusilier in the woods.
But they did get into square.
Yep, but these melee units will do some damage to that, and they are stopping that unit from firing for the moment.
And
Though,
H. Sonbol's really capitalizing on that, making sure to move up his line infantry on that last unit of German Fusiliers.
yep, he is on the farther right, but on the hill here, it almost appears as if his skirmishers, and yep, he's noticed it now, they were shooting right into the hill, and look at how many losses there from friendly fire from this unit back behind firing in. So that severely weakened those two units, and that's not good for them. Now they are actually getting shots into the Austrian units, though.
Back on the left, Johannes has brought over all his cavalry to reinforce his infantry, as well as some Grenzers to reinforce that flank as well.
Oh, yep, back here. And, yep, his Grenzers are there, and these Windbush Jaegers still not engaged yet. In the middle, we've got just a skirmish between some light infantry and Grenzer units, and the Grenzers seem to be getting the upper hand of that. There's also some German Fusilier fighting it out with line infantry on top of the hill. And the Austrian units on this flank is now starting to get decently beat up. There are still Ottoman units in the trees holding there.
So I know we've talked about the infamous Ottoman Rush Army, and this doesn't appear to be that.
No, it's not. Definitely
yeah,
not
H. Sonbol has fielded... I saw only 2 melee units, one of which is already gone.
One of which is engaged, and the Comet Janissary is... They haven't engaged yet, but they're in a very close support role right now. Yeah, the Ottoman Rush build's one build that they can do. It's a very risky build, especially against a skilled player in a final of a tournament. So he probably, I'd bet he went with the Ottomans on this map to have a slight bit of rush, which he does have. He has the 2 melee units to throw off some of Johannes' moves, but overall, I think the biggest thing they're going to get, this is a desert map, and they have a bonus on desert maps, not really buffing their stats, but they do not take fatigue as easily, so his units are going to stay fresh for longer.
And Johannes now throwing more Uhlans into the Ottoman light infantry there. Although it seems they actually got caught up in a line. I'm not sure if
it is
some of that melee units, yeah.
Yeah, it is the melee unit, and that's actually good for him. The melee unit is not that great against cavalry, though now with that Salatar Guard charging in, that Ulan unit should be pretty outmatched.
Yeah, they're taking a pretty serious morale hit.
And the Salatar Guard getting caught a little bit in this square here. But that's a look down the whole line. There's more of Johannes' cavalry moving on his far left. They seem to have moved up and taken out a unit of line infantry. That one Ulan is pretty depleted, but still alive. And now we've got cavalry followed by this melee unit charging in here. And they are going to hit these German Fusilier who are in square.
And I think we might actually see those Windbush Jaegers in action now. Nope, seems they're turned around again.
Yep, he's definitely saving them for specific points in time. We'll see when he wants to use those units. The little bit they have fired, I know earlier they fired a little bit up on this hillside. They're a very accurate unit. And it seems that melee unit has actually routed the German Fusilier, but now they're in a bad spot. They're kind of
classic
caught.
crossfire.
Yeah, they are in fact caught in a crossfire. And that's a bad spot for a melee unit to be.
And it seems they've committed to attacking these German Fusiliers. I think I would have actually liked to see them pull back to the trees. They still have decent numbers. And now he's actually bringing in some... H. Sonbol, that is. He's bringing in some more line infantry to support them.
Yep, and they may have made it back to the trees, and he might have been able to reposition them. Obviously, in the heat of the moment here, he decided that his best bet is to get as much use out of them as he can, and they are doing solid damage. So
and, those Windbush Jaegers are actually under attack.
By Ibrahim Basha there. That is a very risky attack.
And I'm highly impressed by those. They lost 6 men to Ibrahim Basha's Now 16.
Yep. And he's actually down. Yeah, he is down 16 men there. Those Windbush Jaegers going to get away. So they still could play a role in this battle. And the German Fusilier and the Janissary unit actually fought it out to a stalemate. Both of them routed there. On the other flank, looks like H-Sambul has pulled down off of the hill. This flank stayed mostly as a skirmish in the middle this whole time. But what happened, remember those 1st Regiment Emperor's Own and the 47th Czech Regiment, they actually pulled out of these woods and ran back to these trees. And I don't know if H-Sambul didn't realize that they had actually withdrawn, or if he decided his best bet was to just try to push this direction, support the rest of his army, and forget about these 2 units. But they are now back behind some of the Ottoman line.
And
Though
I think H-Sambul has recognized the threat and put a little bit of distance in between those men and his own troops.
Yep, but he does have 2 units that seem to have come back from routing. A mounted rifle cavalry with 27 men. That's still a sizable amount of troops in a cavalry unit. And part of a line infantry unit. And these guys, you know, they're not much, but coming back and behind these other units, they could do some damage there.
So it's a tough thing to keep track of in a game like this.
Yeah, definitely, especially routing units. Right now, it looks like he's charging a line infantry towards these Grenzers, and it's my bet they're going to pull back. Yep. Because that's just not a fight. That's their strength, but these guys aren't even going to make it to him. The morale is going to stack up, and now they're probably going to get shot as they're retreating. Let's see.
Or maybe struck by those Archduke Ferdinand cuirassiers.
Yep.
Actually, it looks like those are going for the rifles.
They are actually going for the rifles there. And we'll see how good of a charge they get. They're going to actually start walking. That's interesting. That looked like more of a game glitch than a command by Johannes. But they ended up actually getting a decent charge, and they'll easily win that fight. Let's see what's hidden in the trees.
I think that that line infantry that routed is actually going to come back, having to run past Ibrahim Basha himself.
Yeah, let's see. There they are. Those Cuirassier are coming over, and that line infantry unit is actually going to come back. We've got another charge, a light infantry unit now charging these Grenzers. And there is a unit of line infantry from the Ottomans rushing over to try to help, and it looks like these Windbush Jaegers have an attack order on them. And there they go, firing away. And they are going to start dropping some of these guys as they run across. Already killed a few, a good volley right there. Now they're just picking off more of them as these guys try to make it across the hill.
At this point, I'm thinking it looks like the day belongs to Johannes.
Yeah, he's definitely in a better position at the moment. The Ottomans are doing various melee charges. Here it looks like the one line infantry is probably going to get caught in the back by the Archduke Ferdinand Cuirassier. And while they are taking some fire, they are going to get the rear charge. So that should finish that pretty solidly. Those guys should rout, although they're not routing as fast as I would have suspected. In the trees, we do have another unit of line infantry and another unit right behind them. So numbers-wise, there's definitely a lot more Austrian units around. But ammo's got to be running low on both sides, and way back here on the left, those routing units finally came back. We've got the mounted rifles running by a square of the 1st Regiment of Emperor's Own. And now this line infantry is starting to set up, and it looks like they'll probably end up firing at that square.
One of our units has used all its ammunition, sir.
And it looks like Ibrahim Basha's in trouble, and there he went. He is routed. So that is going to be an issue for the Ottoman morale.
I suspect that may well end the game.
Yeah, right now There are 2 Ottoman units, one of which just routed in the trees here. Those infantry are getting charged by the cuirassier now, so that's going to be the end of them. And that mounted rifle unit has just ran away. They were getting picked off by Windbush Jaegers at long range. More of them dropping to the Jaegers. And it looks like these First Emperor Zone are actually going to be beaten by the line infantry in the trees. So it makes you wonder, had that unit and the mounted rifles come back sooner, could they have done something a little bit different? Because while Austria has a lot more units on the field, his units are pretty beat up, and that cavalry unit could have maybe put some pressure in certain places that the infantry couldn't reach. So, you know,
I know earlier in the tournament we've seen mounted rifles really do a number on all sorts of other units.
Yeah, so that very well could have caused a difference, but it looks like the Austrian general is charging in here to get a little bit of action, and there's only 2 Ottoman units left, 2 infantry units actually, and that regiment of Emperor Zone just came back. So at this point, these 2 units aren't really going to be able to do anything about the current situation. The 1 unit's just routed, and in a second we're going to have fire coming into these other infantry.
Although you do have to commend them for sticking around.
Yep, they're doing their best. And they should take a volley here. Or perhaps not. Nope, they're just gonna rout. So that is actually it. Johannes is going to win the battle there. Yep, there's nothing else on the field. So that is it for the finals. The champion of the Napoleon Total War subscriber tournament is JohannesVb, and in a very solid second place, JohannesVb. Both players have fought since the first round of the tournament, and so both guys, we did have some forfeits in the tournament, so it is interesting that both of these guys fought from round 1, and that's kind of fitting that they make it to the end.
It's nice to see that.
Yeah, fairly, and ended up having 2 really good battles, but Johannes ended up being the better in both of those battles. But once again, good game to both players, and good game, and thank you to everyone who participated in the tournament. I know some people watching this are wondering when, or will even, there be more, and yes, there will. In the next week or so, I'm going to be making an announcement along those lines, so keep tuned for that. But anyways, a final rundown of these stats. Johannes in this second match coming out with the win with 1,214 kills and 1,010 losses. That's compared to JohannesVb's Ottoman army, which killed 895 troops and lost 1,380. So both players having slightly over, it looks like, yeah, over 100 kills because of friendly fire. JohannesVb suffering slightly more friendly fire, but that actually balanced out decently well. So that's pretty much it for those statistics. I only have the unit statistics of Johannes here, his German Fusilier doing the best, followed by the Windbush Jaegers, who, look at that, 108 kills. They weren't really engaged that long, so that is definitely a deadly unit. But anyways, any last comments on that battle or the tournament, Zuber?
Congratulations to JohannesVb, well played JohannesVb. I look forward to seeing both of you in future tournaments. Yep,
and both of us should be back here in the future with more tournaments. Again, keep your eyes peeled for an announcement to that, and if you're interested in possibly competing in a tournament, the way to do that is to make sure you are a member of my Steam subscriber group, which the link to that is always in the description of the video. So thank you guys for watching. One more time, congratulations to JohannesVb, and that is it for the Napoleon Total War subscriber tournament. We will see you guys next time.
Peace out.